All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you being here so much. We've got a lot to cover. We're here on a Saturday. I'm actually dressed up. I'm not so casual. We've got news. We've got a special guest from the Media Research Center and a whole lot more. I'm Bobby Eberly. This is Saturday Live Stream.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, folks, thanks so much for being here. It's great to see the guests. I mean, we've got classics. We've got Wildfire in Texas. We got Joe Heller, who's been just awesome. I appreciate you being here. Flood through Super Chat just donated $100 to the 13-minute news hour and the Saturday live stream. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for using that Super Chat. It really helps. We're actually got some upgrades planned for the studio already, thanks to your support. And I just really appreciate you. I think we're going to have a really good show. But first, I want to catch you up on some news because there are some things that happened overnight. And one of the things I want to talk about is the economy, because this marks the 6th straight week of these massive unemployment claims. I mean, now we have topped 30 million and we got to get things going again. Here's a report from the Washington Times. The number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits has soared to more than 30 million in just 6 weeks of the coronavirus crisis, the Labor Department said Thursday, while President Trump blamed the economy misery on China and predicted a very strong comeback by the time he faces re-election in November. More than 3.8 million people filed claims for jobless benefits last week, down slightly from the previous week, but still a staggering number that had officials predicting April's unemployment rate will climb to nearly 20%. In February, before the pandemic forced businesses closings and stay-at-home orders, the jobless rate was 3.5%. So in addition to that, the consumer spending has plummeted. It is down 7.5% in March. That's a new record. That's a new record by over 3 times. The previous record was 2.1% back in January of 1987. So it just shows, folks, that we have to get the economy going. We've got to get moving. Otherwise, there are, like I mentioned on the last show, there's a bakery in my hometown closed for good, not temporarily, but closed for good. There's a business here, a bar, a dance hall, closed for good. These aren't coming back because people are tired of the stress. They're tired of the uncertainty. They're tired of waiting. Here's more from the Washington Times. Oh, and actually, no, there's not. I covered all of that. But the next story that I wanted to get into, we're live, folks. It's awesome. The next thing I wanted to get into is what's going on in California, because we see people getting tired. They're getting tired of the shutdowns. They're getting tired of these governors, mostly Democrats, running amok with power and being completely inconsistent. Okay, we have a contrast with Governor Newsom. He talks about he's shutting down beaches, but he's releasing criminals. One of the things that has come out recently through President Trump's press conferences with his coronavirus task force is some of the vulnerabilities of coronavirus. And what did he say? He said sunlight. He said heat. He said humidity. You get all of those outdoors. There's a new study I read just this week that said you're more likely to get coronavirus inside than outside. Yet, he's banning people from still going to parks and beaches, but he's releasing criminals. And here's a report from the Daily Caller. 7 high-risk sex offenders in Orange County jails were released by the state, prompting the district attorney to issue a warning to the community, numerous sources reported. Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom ordered the closure of parks and beaches days after the state ordered the release of 7 sex offenders, both orders pushed due to concerns that the spread of coronavirus, according to Fox News. So, in case you're wondering what high risk means, these individuals, they weren't Boy Scouts, folks. These were bad guys. And here's more from the Daily Caller. The 7 released inmates have been convicted of various sexual and violent crimes, including sexual battery, assault with a deadly weapon, child molestation, indecent exposure, parole violations, and entering school grounds as a sex offender. So that's Gavin Newsom, folks. That's what he's doing. And it's so inconsistent. It doesn't make sense. It's just like Gretchen Whitmer over in Michigan. She's doing things, her policies do not make sense, and people are getting frustrated. They're protesting. They're ready for it to be done. So that's our news.